Hey everyone, my name's Abby.
I'm Matt.
Welcome to episode 7 of our travel deep dive. Today we're going to talk about one of our favorite destinations, I think, personally.
Which
I don't
one?
know about you, but doesn't know yet. Actually, so here's the thing. We're going to talk about one of the most spontaneous trips we've ever done, the shortest amount of days we've ever done on a vacation, and that's El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yeah. So we were in El Salvador beginning of the year. I think that was February, second week. We
It's
were
for
there.
Valentine's, right?
Yeah, for Valentine's Day. We were there for 4 days only, Thursday until Sunday, but we had the best time.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It was awesome.
we both loved El Salvador, and here's the thing, like when you go online, you will see a lot of like stuff like scaring you, telling you El Salvador is not safe, because I don't know, I'd never had El Salvador in my bucket list in the past just because I don't know much about it, and I always associate it with like gang violence and stuff like that, because like
That's what they used to be known for. So
that's what it used to be known for, but it's actually very beautiful.
I think it was at one point the murder capital of the world, right? It
Yeah.
was number one.
But now it's very
a lot has
safe.
changed especially since the President Bukele's transition.
Yeah. We don't want to be political, but we've seen how everybody that we met in El Salvador really loved him, and they really loved their president. So that's like, they really love their president, and
Yeah.
that's like something, like it makes you feel so happy, because that is something that you don't hear. Like a lot of people, it's always like, I prefer this, I prefer that, or I don't like this president, I don't like that. But everybody in El Salvador, they're very, very
Everyone
happy.
we asked.
Yeah.
Like,
And we
two
pretty
guys,
much ask
everybody.
everybody, right? Like we ask everyone. So let's talk about the food. What do you feel about the food in El Salvador?
Food's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it's
love-
very like Mexican, right? Their
Yeah,
food.
I think the very authentic El Salvadorian dish that we had was when we arrived. Well, we arrived in the evening, so
Yeah.
we rented a car.
We arrived pretty late.
Yeah, what time did we get there?
Very late. I think it was like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Or
Okay,
9.
and then I think it was an hour or two drive.
And now, an hour drive to El Tunco, because
El
we
Tunco,
stayed at El Tunco. So that's the thing.
Where was the airport? Salvador.
I forgot the name.
What's the name of the city?
Yeah.
Anywhere from the airport to El Tunco, which is where the beach is at. It was about an hour and a half, I think.
I think an hour. There's no traffic because we were
Yeah.
there late at night. And then, so basically, El Tunco is a surf town. And so you're going to see a lot of travelers that are there from all over the world. And the thing is, I don't see, like, El Salvador is so close to the US, but most of the people that we saw, like most of the travelers or tourists, they're mostly from Europe. And then that's the thing. We visited El Salvador without much expectation. We did some research about where to go and decided to just stay at the surf town because we've never been. And turns out it is really, really fun. And one thing too is that El Salvador is such a small country. So I feel like if you only have a week or less than that, you're still going to see a lot. Or you're still going to, have so much fun because, it's such a small place. Small country.
Yeah, talk about our drive. So we drove about an hour to El Tunco, and then once we got there, we had to check in our hotel. It was
we had a vlog.
it was a cabin.
Cabin,
right?
yeah.
The cabin, I think is what it's called. And when we got there, we were having issues with trying to get into a room, right? So
Yeah, we did.
We kind of stalled for
a few minutes, but they're very responsive.
So they ended up transferring us to a different room.
Yeah, gave us another room.
And then we transferred over to the next room the next day. But
The next
anyway,
day.
we wanted to get into our room as fast as possible because it was the evening and it was I think it was a Thursday, right?
It was a Thursday.
So
yeah,
everything was about to close, and so once we put our stuff in the room, we started walking down.
Yeah.
Towards the beach.
Or
Which is where all the bars and the center is.
Yeah.
And we just pretty much we're pretty much looking for food because
Because
we were
it's like
hungry.
really late. I would say it's like 9 or
Yep.
10 or something. You'll see it in our vlog.
And in El Tunco, I think there's this one spot where everybody goes to after, once everything's closed. They're the only ones that are open till like
Yeah.
2 a.m. I think.
Yeah, I think
And
they're open until 2
it
a.m.
was this pupusa spot.
Yes, and that was delicious. It's my first time. I know there's pupuseria here in our area, but I've never tried it before. The very first time I had pupusa was when I'm in El Salvador, and oh my god, the pescador, that's fish, right?
Pescador, I think so.
Pescador pupusa, it's so delicious. And then it's mixed with like pickled cabbage. Was it cabbage, babe, or something? And they have like really delicious sauce. My mouth is watering.
Yeah.
It was so delicious, and I love that.
How much
and
was it? It was like
$1 or
$1 for two?
something. I think the one that we have, it was like $1
Oh, $1
each.
per pupusa. That
But
was
if
really-
you go somewhere, you can get pupusa way cheaper, like 50 cents, 3 pupusas.
I heard that was already on the
expensive side.
side.
Yeah.
So it was pretty.
But it was so delicious. We're obsessed with it, and it's really gonna fill you up. So that's one thing that I really, really love.
I think I had like 5 or
Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I mean, we've
5
been
or
eating
6.
pupusas like nonstop, like right, almost every day we had pupusas because it was just so delicious, and it's like different when you're actually at the country where it's originally from. Like it makes it more yummy. So anyway, food wise, you're gonna be fine. Food is cheap. Accommodation is cheap. Our car rental was cheap. We paid $90 for Thursday until Sunday, so that's also cheap. And then one thing too is that I feel like I want to talk about this because I want to talk about the beach because a lot of people like I've seen online stuff too that the beaches in El Salvador, it's really not that nice because their sand is not white, it's dark, blah blah blah. It's not. Hold on, because first of all, there's a lot of volcanoes in El Salvador. So that's the reason why they don't have the white sand beach. But it doesn't mean that their beach is not nice. It is just not for chilling, I would say, because it's a surf beach. So the waves are big and they don't have like the typical Caribbean blue white sand, but it's still a very fun and relaxing destination.
There are still spots there where you can chill
Yeah,
by the beach,
yeah.
where the waves aren't as harsh. For example, we went to
Like in the one in Mizata.
Misata. Misata is that's the name of the spot. But anyway,
It's in our vlog. You can see it in our vlog.
Yeah, it's pretty much a nice long beach.
Oh yeah, that's also like swimmable. But again, like, because people always associate vacation with like nice Caribbean blue beach with white sand. It's not like that in El Salvador. But there's something about it that I really love. And Mac and I have seen a lot of sunsets, but I still think, or at least I think. Do you think that way?
Yeah, I mean,
I was
the one who told you. I was like, I'm not really into sunsets, but I think that was the best sunset I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And I don't know, maybe it just so happened that the sun is just really setting so beautifully at that time and we were there. Because that was Valentine's Day. We were dining at a very nice restaurant. It's
Called
kind
Betos.
of Betos. It's kind of like the fancy restaurant, but if you think about it, the price is still like very affordable. I think we paid less than, I don't know, $60 for a really, really fancy meal with wine and like dessert, like full on meal. But I think we paid about $60, so that's really cheap. Location is nice. It's like at a cliff, right? Was it at a cliff? And then it's overlooking the beach and a really beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that. It's so beautiful.
Do you recommend getting a reservation? Did we get a reservation?
Yes, we did have a reservation. And I think you should because they're very busy. And like I said, there's not a lot of, I feel like El Salvador is still about to become very, very popular. So there's not a lot of like dining, fancy dining options there. Even like a lot of locals, they go there. So I think it's the best to I feel like it's the best to see El Salvador now that it's like about to get popular before it gets really popular and expensive, because I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon because it has become very popular now and it's so much safer. And that's the thing too, is like, even though I've read a lot of like scary stories, even a lot of like locals move out of El Salvador because they felt like it was so unsafe back then. But I am glad that we really like visited the country because I don't know. I loved it. I really love it. I really love El Salvador.
We met a local or two locals that were already based in the U.S. And
Mhm.
he was telling us stories about why he left El Salvador because of all the violence. But now he comes back
Mhm.
multiple times a year, stays
Yeah.
in El Salvador longer, like a few months out of the
Mhm.
year. So yeah, he did share how much has changed since
Mhm.
his childhood.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I was actually like thinking a lot about this, babe, because you know how a lot of people are like, why go to El Salvador? There's not much to do. Or why go to El Salvador? There's way nicer countries with nicer views and all that. I mean, that's true for sure. Like, if you can't really compare El Salvador to Switzerland, for example, or El Salvador to
they each
Greece.
have their own
Yeah,
unique
but there's something
experience.
about like countries, like simple countries like that, and like the people that you meet along the way that really like impacts your overall trip. Like it's not just because the view is nice, but what if the people are like mean? Or you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think I think one of my first impressions of El Salvador was when we arrived
uh-huh.
in the airport and we went through
Oh yeah, yeah,
customs. That
yeah.
was like the most friendliest customs I've
Exactly.
ever
Because
experienced.
I don't know about you guys, but every time you go in the airport, right, and you pass by the
Immigration,
immigration,
yeah.
they're like serious. Like, I mean, they smile. Some of them smile. Some of them are nice and friendly, but they're kind of like try to keep it like low key. They try to look that they have that look that they mean business.
Yeah.
But over there in El Salvador, it's like, oh,
It was nice,
come,
and then
welcome.
he looked at our passports, right?
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah,
"Oh, you guys are U.S. citizen, but looks like you were born in the Philippines. Like I've always wanted to go to the
yeah.
Philippines." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you should go."
Yeah, and I think that's beautiful. Like even just the airport experience alone was already like very very like amazing. That I think the first 30 seconds that I stepped foot in like El Salvador, I'm like, oh my god, I love this country. And the great thing is that it's like 5 hours from California. It's very very close. You can just go there for a long weekend, and you're pretty much gonna have a blast because
Yeah.
it's so close. So one thing I really 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 regret is that, well, not regret, but one thing that I would want to go see again. That's why Mac and we really want to go to El Salvador if we get a chance. Hopefully we will because it's very cheap. So one of the places that we didn't get to see is the Santa Ana Volcan.
Volcano, yeah.
We've been wanting to go, but we've been partying every night that we always wake up late, and it's quite of a drive from where we're staying at. So sometimes it's like it's not worth it anymore because there's much to do already in like El Tunco. So
Yeah.
we were just kind of like stuck there. But obviously, if you have more time, then definitely check out Santa Ana
I think we would
Volcano.
have been able to check that off of our list, but we were just I don't know, we were just
We were always like, okay, we're gonna
like,
sleep early tonight because we're gonna go here tomorrow, but we ended up going to bed at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. because
yeah,
we're like having
and it was
fun.
more of a I think it's gonna be a 3 hour drive, right? Or was it 3 hours?
And
Or
it's a 2 hour hike,
2 hour hike, so it was 3 hour drive each
something
way,
like
right?
that. Mm-hmm.
And then a 2 hour
So
hike, so you definitely need
a
to
whole day.
yeah, you need
But
a whole
then
day to
also
prepare.
another guy recommended that we should just stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because they have like a little, kind of like their old town as well, close to Santa Ana Volcano. That's also very nice. So they recommend staying there if you're gonna go to Santa Ana Volcan, so you have more time versus having to go back to El Tunco and then back there. So so that's one thing. And then we also went to Mizata. It's like a beach, Naui beach house, which is also very new. I feel like El Salvador is really gonna boom because I've seen a lot of boutique hotels rising up.
That means real estate prices are
Real
gonna go up
estate's
too.
gonna go up there.
So
So,
if
but yeah,
thinking about buying real estate
yeah, we
there,
saw Mizata, and it's actually very nice. It has like the Bali vibes kind of thing. So yeah, we love that. I can't really. What else do we want to talk about El Salvador? Oh yeah, so we took Avianca Airlines, and that's the very first time that Mac and I traveled with just personal item bags. And I think we would do it again if we have like a long weekend. We're probably gonna go to El Salvador and just bring like
all
a
I had was a
small
backpack,
bag. Exactly.
just one backpack.
Yeah, one
So
backpack, and that's enough. Because I mean, it's warm there, so you're just gonna bring bikinis and really like thin clothing, so you're gonna be fine. What else?
the nightlife. So when we arrived there
Nightlife, yeah.
Thursday, Thursday was pretty dead. There's this one bar that was open up late
Michaela.
where Michaela, what was his name?
Mm-hmm.
Michaela.
Michaela.
Michaela?
Michaela.
Michaela. Anyway, it's right down towards the
It's like
towards
the
the
pirate
beach.
one, right? The
Yeah,
pirate thing.
pirate theme. But so that's where all the foreigners, all the tourists would hang out. Thursday night they would have like, was it beer pong? They had like tournaments.
Yeah, tournaments, beer
And,
pongs,
yeah.
and it was so fun. It was fun. And again, it's a very like that's the thing too, because like their town or like the El Tunco strip, it's very small, so you can really like get to know and see the same faces every time. So that's really nice.
It's Friday and Saturday nights when it really
It picks up,
picks
and
up.
it picks
the
up.
whole strip's pretty much open, and they have like 3 different clubs or bars, right?
Yeah, that are back to back
Different themed.
facing the beach.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
like there's one that's a little bit more. There's one that like for example, there's one bar that was more of just live music, live band, and
Oh yeah, like just like bands, right?
yeah, and then the next one was more
aesthetic,
more fancy,
more fancy,
and then the one right next to it was more of a like a club.
like a club,
beach
like
club.
anybody can go
Yeah.
there, and everyone's dancing and going crazy there, and it's so fun. Oh my god, when are we
went to
going
each one,
back?
right? Except for the
Yeah, we went to each one except for the one with the band.
Yeah.
When are we going back?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We even made a friend. He actually chatted us. The guy. Remember when we were coming back from
yeah.
like he's like, when are you coming back to El Salvador?
Yeah.
So now we have a buddy there. Maybe he can tour us around next time.
Yeah.
But I think that is it. I don't know. I can't really talk much because we were there 4 days only, and it was such a blur because we were like having back to back nonstop fun. It's crazy and it's wild, but we had a really, really great time.
We made friends along the way. So
Made
I
friends
think
along the way.
one of the best experiences I have whenever we visit different countries is the people that you meet.
Yeah.
And like you start to value the time that you get to spend with those people, because you never know, that might be the first and last time you might ever see
Exactly.
those people. And there's a lot of really, really good, nice people.
Yeah.
That you just.
There's still a lot of amazing people that you have yet to meet in your life. So you have to go out there and, I don't know, explore. And don't let, do your diligent research, but don't let your fear stop you from visiting a certain country just because you heard a lot of like crazy stories. Like, do your research, but honestly, if you are just careful and all of that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and just stay away from.
Yeah,
trouble,
just use your common sense and be careful, but don't let
respect
it
respect the locals.
respect the
That's
locals.
the number one rule. Respect the
Yeah,
locals.
yeah, that's right. But don't let it stop you from seeing the world, because it just makes me so sad that so many people wanted to like go, but they're like, no, I don't want to go because I heard crazy stories about it. Trust me, El Salvador is so nice, and I would go back in a heartbeat. Really, it's one of my top. I would go back places next to Belize. Yeah, definitely, because it's so beautiful, delicious food, amazing people, and yeah.
There's so much more to see there because we've only been in one spot.
Side, yeah.
So
I feel like we were only on like that one side, but again, like I said, it's such a small country that you can see a lot. It's just that we were it's not really like our typical kind of travel, because Mac and I, if we travel, we really wanted to see everything. That one was a little bit more of a spontaneous, we want to chill, we want to party kind of weekend. So that's why we were like staying within like El Tunco, but we still went to see waterfall, saw some wild horses, so we still had a blast. So yep, I think that is it. We are now 19 minutes and we are gonna go to my friend's place to eat dinner.
yeah, I'm hungry.
Yep, so let's go. See you guys later.
See ya.